All right, we are going to take just a couple minutes and go over some of the long division stuff that you've gone over. I know that you've listened to some of those videos from Sal, and it can be a little bit long, but we're just going to kind of go over why division works the way that it does so that you guys have a really good handle of what's going on. So let's start out with small. Let's start out with the number 23. We're going to say that my story is going to be I have 23 cookies, and I'm going to share those 23 cookies with my two daughters. So I'm going to try to be as fair as possible because we know that if you have a brother or sister, it's important that you have an equal amount, otherwise there's a big fight to be had. So 23 cookies, I'm going to share those, are going to split those up between two children. So if we think about 23, the number 23 is made up of 2 10s and 3 1s. And I apologize for my writing here with the mouse. Is kind of difficult, so when I have the smartboard, this will be a lot easier and probably a lot easier to read. But so 23 is 2 10s and 3 1s, and for the sake of saving time, I'm going to make a T for 10s and an O for 1s, and I'll split those up between two kids. So 2 10s, two groups of 10 cookies. So if I have two groups of 10 cookies, I should be able, between my two daughters, to give each one a group of 1 10. So each of them is going to get 1 10. If I give them each 1 10, that means I have used up 2 10s. I'm going to subtract, and I have 0 10s left. But I still have my 3 1s. So I have 3 cookies sitting there, and I have 2 daughters. So I know I can give them each one, and I'm certain that I can't give them each 2. I can give one child 2 and one's going to have 1, and that's going to be not fair, so they're going to be pretty upset. So I can only give them 1 apiece to be fair. So if I give them each 2 kids, that means I've used 2 cookies, and what I have left is 1 cookie remaining. So a remainder of 1. What that looks like if we go to my iTools in Think Central is I'm going to make 23. So this is what I'm talking about when I say 2 10s is a 20, and then 3 1s. Okay, so we're going to think of each of these as a stack of 10 cookies, and then 3 individual cookies. I'm going to divide those with my 2 daughters, so I want 2 equal size groups. So here's Emily, here's Elena. I know that I have enough to give each of them a group of 10. Then I have 3 cookies left. 1 for you, 1 cookie for you. I have 1 remaining. I can't do that equally. So what I have right now is each child gets 10, 11 cookies. And then there's a remainder of 1. And once you know, that's probably going to be for me. I'm going to check. Way to go. We did it. If we look at the standard way of seeing 23 divided by 2, we can say in our head 2 10s divided by between 2 people or 2 groups. How many in each group? We can put 1 in each group. 1 times 2 groups is 2. Subtract. It's going to have 0 left over. And then bring the 3 1s that I have left. 2 groups. I'm going to split up 3 in 2 groups. Each group is going to receive 1. 1 times 2. I use 2. I'm going to subtract 3, take away 2, 1. Remainder of 1. Looking at it this way is just giving you an understanding of with the place value and when we use iTools and Think Central. Right here is what you're going to get more comfortable with using once you really understand what's happening with long division. So let's make it a little bit larger. Let's say I now have 144 cookies. The girls have a few friends over, so now I have 5 children that I need to split 144 cookies up equally. Sounds like some good times here, doesn't it? All these cookies that we're sharing. So again, we're going to kind of look at this 144 as its place value. So I have 100, I have 4 10s, and I have 4 1s. So that means I have 1 flat or 1 group of 100 cookies. I have 4 groups of 10 cookies, and I have 4 individual cookies. So kind of picture that in your head. I'm going to split those amongst 5 kids. So let's go back to iTools and kind of look at that in picture form. So we're going to clear it. I'm going to take my flat. I have 100, 40, 4. Okay, so 144. I'm going to divide that. I want 5 equal size groups. So dividing that by 5. So looking at this, if I have one group of 100 cookies and I grab that and gave it to this child right here, I'm going to have 4 very upset kids that I wasn't fair with my sharing. So I know that I'm going to have to take that 100 and I'm going to have to split it up. So I'm going to regroup it into tens. So now I have these new 10 plus the 4 tens that I already had. So I have 14 tens now that I'm going to share with 5 children. So I can go back to the usual in iTools of saying 1 for you, 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 and so on and so on. Or I can look over here and say 14. If I have 14 groups of 10 and I have 5 kids, what do I know about my math facts? How many groups can I make, or how many can I have in each group if I have 14 things to divide up into 5 equal groups? So I know my math facts. 5 times 3 is 15. That's too much. So 5 times 2, I bet I can give each person 2. Just thinking out loud there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tens left. I know I have 5 kids, so I'm going to have to regroup those. So I hit line up. So each child right now has 2 groups of 10. So I'm going to regroup these. And I'm going to make them, break them up into just individual cookies and not groups of cookies. So the ones. So now I have 44 ones here. And so now I'm going to go back to the, going to the 1 for you, 1 for you, 1 for you, split up. And going on, but once again I could say 44 and I have 5 people. How can I split up 44 amongst 5 people? I know my math facts. Let's see, 5 times 8 is 40, and 5 times 9 is 45, so it can't be 9, so I must give everybody 8. So I'm just going through this so you see how this kind of works. So you can play around with this. Kind of practice getting that idea of sharing. The tough thing is when you do it this way, for those of you that were in my class when we were doing this with our paper, is it got to be messy and it gets a lot of work, and this is where mistakes tend to happen with division when you're doing it this way. So the bigger the number, the more you have to regroup. And a lot more errors tend to happen. All right, so we're at a point right now, let's see, that everybody should have 8 in their group. So that leaves me with 5 remaining here. And so, let's see, do I have everybody with 8 in a group? Nope, I don't. I was going to say that's not right. So now I have, everybody has 8 in their group. And I have 4 remaining. Now 4 remaining, like we said before, if there's 5 people, we can't share them equally. So let's look at an individual group. Each person should have 1 10, 2 tens, so that's 20. And then they each should have 8 ones, so 28. And then we have a remainder of 4, so 28 cookies for each of these children. Sounds great, doesn't it? And then the 4 remaining here. Let's check, and we have it correct. So let's go back to that paper pencil method now. And just kind of what we did over here, and then we'll do it the quick version. So if I have 100, I cannot share that with 5 people. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to break up that 100 into 10 tens. So now I have 14 tens. Okay, so 5 children sharing 14 tens. Thinking of my math facts. 5 groups of 2 is 10, 5 groups of 3 is 15, so 15 is too large. So I'm going to say each child gets 2 groups of 10. 2 groups of 10, or 10 is 10 tens with 5 kids. I'm going to subtract. I have now 4 tens remaining. 4 tens remaining with these 4 ones. 4 tens remaining cannot be split up between 5 children, so I'm going to regroup and break apart those 4 tens into 40 ones, and I have 4 ones still, so now I have 44 ones. 5 groups that I'm going to share, 44 ones. My math facts, let's see, 5 times 8 is 40, 5 times 9 is 45. 45 is too large, so it must be 8 ones in each group. 8 ones in 5 groups is 40 ones. Subtract. I have 4 ones remaining. Okay, so I have a remainder of 4. So let's do that in this version over here. 100s, or 100, can I share that or break that up between 5 children? I can't share 100, so I'm going to have to regroup it. And so now I'm going to look at 14. I have 14 tens. So 5, I know that 5 times 3 is 15, too big, so I'm going to say 2 to each group. 2 in 5 groups is 10 cookies. Subtract. I have 4. I'm going to bring down that 4 ones that I still have, and now I have 44 ones, because remember I broke up that 410 into 40, and I have the 4 ones still remaining. So 5 groups, 44 cookies, 8 in each group, 8 groups of 5, or 8 in each group, means 40, subtract 4 remaining, 28, remainder 4. So what I'm going to have you guys do is practice with that a little bit. Please submit any questions that you have to me in My Big Campus. If you scroll down onto this assignment page, you're going to see comments. You certainly can put comments or questions that you have of this way of doing it. And I certainly would like to respond to those. Otherwise, take the quick quiz and practice some more long division. And I will talk to you tomorrow in your next lesson. All right. Bye-bye.